Hello everyone and welcome to this new video. I'm Ombra and today we're gonna talk about all the changes the devs make on the commander skills in the last update. By the way, I prepared this pick for show you who received change on this patch. One commander in a buff section means this commander have a little buff that increase the power of that. If the commander is in the big buff category, that means the commander receive a big increase of the stat, of the performance and of the skills. On the nerfed section, we're gonna find all the commander receive a decrease in terms of skill value or prestation. And on killed section, all the commander just get destroyed. It's important to say this is not a tier list, so if you found a commander on the top of that, that doesn't mean this commander is strong. That means only this commander receive a major buff than who is below. And if you found someone in the nerfed category, that doesn't mean this commander is trash, just mean this commander receive a little nerf on their kit. First commander is Adun, and here we have the Betrayer now gives 35 of attack instead of 10. On Azok we have 0 change. On Azure Core we have the Fleeting Flames increase the burning damage received to 10% to 12%, and also the continuous damage from 20% to 30%. On Berutiel we have no change. On Black Serpent we have a lot of change, and this is why Black Serpent for me is very big buff. With the Horn of Arad you have attack of 4 allied unit instead 3, you have attack plus 40 instead 30, and you have a duration of 4 round if you take the final level 5 round. And also you have an increase on the Aerodream skill, now gives 15 of defense instead of 10, and also plus 3 attack instead of plus 2. On Chestaro we have no change. On Glasha again a lot of change for improve the kit. The Crabine of Montfang now reduce the attack of the enemy by 20. The messenger skill now start to be very competitive, in particular for a meta where you have a lot of damage dealer commander. For 3 round, normal attack damage dealt by 4 enemy commanders, so every enemy commander is reduced by 15%, and that effect is also modified by focus, and you can increase that to 5 round, so it's important now. And also the White Hand increase the attack and the defense of the Urukai formation of this commander from 16 to 22. On Gorbag we have the Interrogator almost dead, cause now has 35% chance only to stun and not anymore 15. It's to increase the defense reduction at 15, but also reducing the damage on the target subject by stun and madness only to 10%. We have an increase in terms of defense from 10 to 15 on Grey Leader, but it's not enough, it's a big nerf for Gorbag. On Gottmog we have Overlord now work on 2 formation instead 1, so double the effectiveness, and also the damage dealt is increased to 30% scale with the attack. Then we have a change on the scaling factor on the second in command, now not anymore scaling with the command but scale with the attack, and that is only a change because we don't know the scaling, so we cannot suppose if it's better or worse. And then we have Morgul Lieutenant works on 4 allied instead on 3. Talking about Grima, we have a big nerf on Work Tongue. Already the 35% chance to inflict madness was really low in my opinion, but now it's 15% chance to inflict madness, and it's only for 1 round. Previously was for the 2 round duration of the skill, now it's only 1 round and 50%, so this skill is completely useless right now. Destroy completely Grima kit. We have the change on the second in command here also, and that is irrelevant, but then again we have a nerf on the Wizard Assistance, 70% chance to inflict stun, now it's 10% chance to inflict stun, so it's a 60% chance nerf. Oh my god, you kill Grima, it's not anymore a commander. On Rijnak we have the same change of the Interrogator, so it's a big nerf. On Khaldun we have an increase on Marshal of the Ismark, now improve to 60% chance, reducing damage by 10% of 3 allied formation from 30% chance, so it's a double of effectiveness. Also increase the target defense by 6. Regarding Kamul, we have only the change on the scaling for the second in command, nothing relevant, and on Kirun we have 0 change. On LOTR we have an increase on Master of the Fallen. Next instance of damage dealt by 2 allied formation now is 35% increase and not anymore 20%. Then we go talk about Lurz. We have Uruk-hai Elite improve to 25 instead of 20, and that is good. And we have also the White Hand increase from 16 to 22, but we have a big nerf on Uruk-hai First Burn. Now deals only 300% physical damage twice and not anymore 350%. It's a big nerf in my opinion, because you want the damage of Lurz, not the buff for the troops. On Maltok, already said, we have the Interrogator nerfed, so we have Maltok nerfed. On the Mouth of Sauron we have again Messenger, and that is a big improve. In my opinion, it's a good skill now. On Ugluk we have some minor change on 2 skill, not super relevant, but still a bit nerfed in my opinion. But the crucial point is the Trollmaster increased the defense to 60 from 30, stay for 6 rounds instead of 5. On Kurvan we have the attack of Lord of Calamity increase from 7 to 9. It's okay, it's a buff, but it's pathetic in my opinion. On Saruman and Sauron we have 0 change. On Shagrat we have the Reckless change, now increase the damage dealt by 35%, and also the Kiritungol Garrison increase the defense by 12, and the damage received now is reduced by 5%. Scalehelm have a big change on the Dark Ranger. Now the Madness get apply only 20% chance of the time instead of 100% chance when you deal poison damage, so it's a big nerf. On Sanid we have a minor nerf on the healing, now it's only 150%, and we're gonna see a lot of nerf on the healing of the commander. I hope that means they fix that and now work properly. On the Shadow, one of the best commander in terms of buff receiving on this patch, we have the Undertaker now deals 120% physical damage. We have the Hunt Expert increase the attack by 7, and we have the Shape of Void last for 6 rounds and also increase the normal attack damage by 15%. The Undying on the same way have the Undertaker increase normal attack by 120%. On Ugluk we have 3 skill of 4 with a buff. We have the Uruk-hai Elite increase now the attack plus 25. We have the Outlaw increase now the attack by 30, and we have the White Hand increase attack and defense now plus 22. So it's a big buff for Ugluk. I don't think it's enough, but let's see how that game gonna work. On Ugtak we have the Uruk-hai Elite, same change, plus 25 now. Then we have the Witch King, where we have the Lord of Minas Morgul now decrease the commander statistic by 20 and not anymore by 15. On Yusra we have the Interrogator nerfed like the other commander, so it's nerfed. And on Zegrid we have Brigand now increase the attack of the formation by 25 and not anymore 20. And also we have the same change of the Reckless, now deals plus 35% damage dealt. I start with Aragorn 2nd, where we don't have any change. Then we talk about Aragorn 2nd King of Men, where we have 1 change on King of Men. Now for the first 5 rounds, damage dealt increased by 15%. Then on Arwen we have a decrease of recovery received to 100%, but we have also the Alphelven increase to 30 and 30 from 12 and 12. It's a big buff. Not the buff we want for sure, but it's a buff. On Balin the situation is a bit strange, because we have some skill get buff and some skill get nerf. For example, we have Lord of Moria, now it's 45% chance and restored to 120% HP. Also the chance increased to 60% at level 5. But then we have on Revivalist, the chance of stun decreased to 15%, and on Warrior of Lonely Mountain, attack and defense of 3 allied formation now it's only +7 and not +10. So for me, Balin is stable, receives some nerf and some buff. Bjorn doesn't receive any change. Boromir get buff a lot, cause the amount of attack of Horn of Gondor increase. Also the number of hit the Warden can protect with the evasion now is 4 instead of 2, even if we have a slightly reduce of the chance. And then we have the air, increase the defense of the commander formation by 7 instead 5, and can stack more faster. On Celeborn we have the wise, a bit change, not nerfed, not power up, because it's just a change in terms of how much focus you need for take the effect. And we have a little buff on the chance of avoidance to 20% on Grey Elf. Talking about Círdan, we have Lord of the Heavens now get nerfed to 250% of HP healed to 250%. This is a big nerf. On Teleri we have the amount of attack increased to 25 and also the damage dealt increased to 5. And on Scholar of the Occult we have a nerf on the healing from 200% to 150%. Then we talk about Dane and finally receive a nerf, but not where they need to receive a nerf. Because okay, Ironfoot now deal 450 damage instead of 550, but the big problem is still Durin's Blood, guys, is not the Ironfoot. And I don't understand why this skill have still 30% chance of inflict stun where all the other skill get nerfed to 15%. Maybe the devs love the dwarfs? Let me know in the comment what you think. Denethor Mad Steward get buff, now increased by 30 instead of 20, the attack, and also the troops succumb to the madness receive -30% instead of -10%. Dwalin receive a buff on the adventurer, now attack of the dwarf unit increased by 40 and also steal for all the duration of the battle when you have at full level. Eladan is another commander with a lot of buff. We have the hero increase the attack by 30 now and also the damage dealt by 10%. We have the Half Elven increase the attack and defense by 30. And we have also Elven Rider increase the attack of the commander medium units by 30. It's enough to consider Eladan a good commander? I don't know and I don't think. Elry received the same buff with the Half Elven and then have the Loyal Follower buff where we have the attack of the commanded formation plus 25 and also the stack additional is plus 4 instead plus 3. On Herald again we have the Half Elven buff. And then we have the Elf Lord for reducing now the defense of the target by 15 instead of 12. On Eomer we have Riders of Rohan now can proc 60% chance and reducing the damage by 30%. It's very tanky skill now. On Eowyn, Shield Maiden now grant 42 of defense each round instead of 25, is a big buff. On Falgin we have an increase just minimal on Eredluin Expedition, now gives +7 instead of +6, so it's a minimal buff. On Faramir guide change and now gives +30 of attack onto allied formation, and also we have the same change of air we have on Boromir. Talking about Frodo and Sam, we have Master of Begend now gives 30% chance to evade and that is good. Then we have also the Ring Beer evasion 35% chance now and not anymore 25. Overall we have a bit better stats on Frodo and Sam but still irrelevant. On Galadriel we have the Scholar of the Occult still nerfed and the Nenia's Guardian nerf on the basic value but now scale with the focus stats, so its potential superior. We don't know the scaling, so for now I just let yellow. Gandalf the Grey, we have Mithrandir increase the number of round to 4 and we have the White Consul, maybe the best buff in this patch note, now work for 4 round, also work for 5 hit and also with the final skill work for 6 it. So it's a damage reduction for 4 allied formation, scaling with the focus at insane amount of level, and also now it's 6 hit instead of 4. So it's a mega huge buff on a skill already broken. You are crazy, guys. Gandalf the White receive a nerf on the White, cause now deals damage only on one target. It's true, deals more damage, but it's a nerf in terms of how much damage Gandalf the White gonna deal. Then we have the insane buff of the White Council, like for the Grey, and we have also a buff on the White Rider. Now damage received by 2 enemy formation increased by 25%. Gil-galad have no change. On Gimli we have the Lock Bearer for defense of 3 enemy formation, diminishing by 10 instead of 2. We have Aldir with target defense minus 10 for 1 round. I consider that a buff, but I'm not sure. Then we have the Galadrim for increase the attack of ranged unit by 15, and also now the defense is not anymore while defending. On Irgon we have the buff of Warden we already mentioned on Boromir. Talking about Imrail, we have an increase on the Fair in terms of commander's damage dealt melee unit plus 15%, and we have also the same buff of Boromir on Air. On Isildur we have a lot of change. The Ring Bears we already cover on Frodo and Sam, is an increase of evasion. The Great King now gives the buff to 3 allied formation instead of 2, and also the effect now is modified by the attack and not by command. And on the last alliance now we have 8 hit instead of 7 on the basic skill, and on level 5 10 hit instead of 8 tank from this skill. Now talking about King of the Dead, we have a very bad nerf, because now the skill work on 2 rounds of cooldown instead of 1 and deals 600 focus damage, and that is superior than in the past, but is only on 1 enemy formation and is only, so the DPS is drastically drop. It's true we have the Betrayer increase, but it's so much nerfed, guys, so much nerfed. One of the best skill in the game now is terrible. On Legolas we have the Grey Elf buff for increasing the evasion. On the Fair the same of Imrail, the increase of the commander melee units damage dealt. And on the Dwarf friends we have plus 15 instead of plus 10 of attack, and we have also plus 15 of defense. Merry and Pippin we have no change. Ori we have the Clerk, now increase the focus on 1 commander allied by 20, and also on the Dwarf Warrior we have the number of round increase from 3 round only to 6. Radagast the Brown have the Brown skill, increase the defense of the target by 15 now, and we have Beard Tamer, increase the speed of large unit by 20%. On Theoden on the Renewed we have damage received by the commander formation minus 15%, and also on Horsemaster we have the attack of mountain unit increased by 15. On Thorin I don't know if it's a buff or is a nerf, so it's neutral for me, because yes, we have plus 5 of attack on the Oak Shield. We also have plus 5 of attack for the Dwarven unit on King of the Durin Folks, but we have also the nerf of the Revivalist in terms of chance of stunning. On Thranduil we have the Grey Elves buff like in the other commander, 20% chance to evade damage, and on the King of the Woodland Realms we have the increase in terms of defense from 12 to 15, and also when you defense you have the increase from 15 to 18. And for last we have just a fix in terms of what they write on the skill on the Treebeard, deal the same of the past but now is right correct. Maybe if you watch this video you want always to know my opinion about the change and not only listen about what is changed. My real opinion about the change I see it's I cannot know if this game gonna be balanced, because I don't know if they change some mechanics around that, if the formula of the game works like in the PvE. This is not absolutely the change you want, because gonna be extremely extremely unfair and unbalanced, so I hope they fix the healing, I hope they fix the damage of the army, otherwise you're gonna have a meta only with the damage commander works and all the other completely trash. So the buff they did on the skill are irrelevant in the 90% of the case, and kill some commander for no reason. Why destroy Grima is not a super strong meta OP commander in the new version of the game? Why you have to kill that, bring that in a position where you cannot play anymore that? I already exposed myself in the past with a lot of suggestions for change the skill, for have different skill for every single commander, and have a good skill related to lore also that can increase the amount of player want to play that for some reason. And you want commander specialize on doing something, because if I need one commander deals damage, I pick a commander for deal damage. If I need a tank, I bring a tank. If I need a healer, I want a healer. If I want a debuffer, I take a debuffer. So this is the way for me to go, and not just bring hybrid commander and just pump the statistic for try to balance. That is not the way for balance. For sure, I don't know what the devs also have changed in the game, so I cannot talk about that, but if these are the only change, is not the way. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, just smash like on that, and also subscribe to my channel for future content. Let me know in the comment what you think about this update. It's important for me, your feedback helped me a lot to change my mind also. I'm gonna try to bring all the news I have about the launch of the game, and also the new build for the commander, the equipment, as soon as I have something to show you. Thank you for following me, and see you in the next. Woo!